welcome back to Obscurus Gaming, and today I'm reviewing Bad North, a game that's been sitting in my backlog for years really, and I was reminded of it after playing through Bish Bash Bots recently, which was that tower defense action game, and for whatever reason it reminded me that I needed to play through Bad North. Also, the Switch release calendar, at least until recently, was looking pretty light for the next few months. So I'll be doing a few of these older reviews when I have the time that I never got around to before. So yeah, let's take a look at Bad North. Originally released back in 2018, Bad North is a roguelike strategy game combining some light puzzle and tower defense elements. You'll command up to 4 squads of Vikings who defend procedurally generated islands from getting attacked by ship-riding invaders. Most of your time will be spent kind of micromanaging where on the grid you want to move each of your squads to, but you'll also lock more advanced tactics if you manage to advance deep enough by spending coins you've earned from safely defending an island. And remember, this is a roguelike experience, meaning that each time you die, you will start from scratch with really 0 elements carrying over to the next run, outside of something called a checkpoint island, which creates a pseudo save point to restart a run from that island without having to go all the way back to the start. So when the game begins, you'll start with 2 randomly named Viking squads, each containing 1 leader and 8 or so soldiers. These squads can be moved wherever you want to best attempt to defend your island in real time. Each island will have a number of houses that, if attacked and burned down, will cause you to lose that given level. You can also lose if all your leaders die, one of the several permadeath elements to the game. Now, when invaders land on your island, the fights play out automatically with the exception of some rechargeable special attacks, and your Vikings will automatically attack the enemies within range. Besides simply moving your squads to helpful defensive positions, you can also level up your characters into 3 main classes: archers, swordsmen, and pikes. Archers will attack enemies from long range using bows and arrows, swordsmen get shields to help defend themselves, and the pike class gets these kind of long spears to avoid hand-to-hand combat. You can also eventually purchase new abilities, items, and additional squads that you stumble upon. The last thing you can do is replenish your squad by having them go in any of the island houses, or worst case scenario, flee completely if the battle is looking like a lost cause, which, trust me, it will happen, and it will happen a lot. Every time you beat a level, you'll get to choose which island you can sail to next, and the map gives you a glimpse into what kind of shape the island is, what rewards might be obtained, and what types of enemies will be generated. You will need to consider all of this when making a decision of where to sail to next, as deploying the wrong squads at the wrong time can turn a solid run into a disaster with one bad island, which brings me to the challenge of this game, which for me was quite difficult at times. My improvement came with being super hands-on and careful with my most leveled up squads, learning how to position them effectively, and using special items and weapons at appropriate times. And that's pretty much all there is to the gameplay of Bad North, so while it is repetitive by nature, the game has a I can do that better next time feeling to it that draws you in. What also kept me engaged though were the aesthetics of the entire experience. The game has a very minimalistic look, but I actually think this adds to the entire game, kind of similar to Townscaper, which was the developer's other game that I reviewed a long time ago on this channel. The pastel colors are soothing in a way, and even the blood elements don't detract from how pleasant the game is to look at and how kind of cozy it is when playing. Technically, it performs pretty well on the console outside of the initial loading screen, although I did get a complete freeze out one time. It does control nicely, and the sound design of Viking horns and soldiers fighting all fit together well. Bad North scores a solid 76 for me. It provides a very accessible experience for anyone who enjoys real-time strategy, tower defense, and even puzzle games, but on a more digestible scale and lower time commitment. I can see why this would be a solid game on mobile, and the Switch version works pretty well and is on sale a lot, so with the price point entry typically being around $5, I would pick this one up if you want a simple, bite-sized experience that you can pick up and play without a huge time commitment.